Okay, we are testing again to see if this broadcast can get going again. This is our second attempt. I see our resolution is really low. We're getting terrible throughput here. So hey, everybody. Welcome back if you're here. I'm the only one here. I'm trying to get rid of the bad word on the screen. Here we go. Thomas is here. So the first broadcast we had failed. We are going to try and do it again. It looks like it's coming through the YouTube in really low resolution. This is what I've resolved, guys. Today I will figure out another internet solution because this T-Mobile thing is not working at all. And quite frankly, I'm very disappointed with T-Mobile. When it works, it's super fast, but then it pauses and things start dropping. So far, this broadcast, nothing dropped. In the last broadcast, which lasted, I don't know, 5 minutes, 60% of the frames dropped, which is just unacceptable. We can't operate like that. So T-Mobile at home, if you're listening, let me know. So anyway, producer Joanne is here. So this is just a quick broadcast. A lot going on today, including me getting the booster shot. Let's find out what we're enraged by. We've got, no one technically watching, and yet there you guys are. So technically we're having trouble here. Okay, so Marcy's here, Libby's here. Okay, so far so good. I see us in low resolution over on the YouTube screen, but we also have an excellent connection. So I don't know. I don't know how to make this consistent, but we might have to go back to Spectrum. Yay. I'll be making some phone calls later today. I'm getting boosted. If you missed the first broadcast, I'm getting boosted today. Hopefully, producer Joanna will get boosted. Kevin Lee Daughter's going to get boosted with the Pfizer. So hopefully later today, I can concentrate on this internet and see if it makes it work. Plus, unless I'm napping tonight because of the Pfizer shot, we will do a movie night and we'll watch a film together. So that'll be good. Let's see if we can get right into this because I've got things to do. I've got about maybe 15 minutes of broadcasting time left. So far, no frames have dropped. I don't get this. So this might... Okay, I got to run an internet test. So T-Mobile at home, this might not be your issue. I believe that it is, though, because I have had inconsistent... Like I'll go to pull up, let's say southwest.com, and it takes 6 or 7 seconds before it responds, and then it comes in, which is weird. It should be coming up right away. I have myself a really good setup here. Technically speaking, it's very fast. Let's find out what we should be outraged by today to take us through perhaps the weekend with no internet on my part. Here's Fox and Friends. Join us later today for a movie night. If you want to join movie night, easiest way to get the updates is by becoming a patron at kevinleefather.com. So go to kevinleefather.com. That should take you to the Patreon page. You can become a patron for as little as $1 a month, up to $75,000 a month if you so choose. Yes, it's really Friday.
Never a drum player, but I did play saxophone.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Where
Breaking news on Fox and Friends.
is it? You had to return it to the store?
Yeah, for a while we rented it, and then my parents...
Okay,
Look
here we
for
go.
it, and I would go to the police station.
Okay.
You had to.
What about... none of...
Okay.
Yeah, it's black.
I want to hear what's going on in the news. Thank you.
And long.
Right.
It has a...
Todd Pyro...
Okay, here we go. So they're going to talk about Kyle Rittenhouse, first of all. I paid no attention to the trial yesterday. Didn't even get a chance to go on the Twitters and look things up. I was very busy yesterday, which is, I'm not complaining. It's a very good thing. Let's see how they saw the Kyle Rittenhouse trial unfolding yesterday.
Live as police brace in Kenosha for perhaps unrest ahead of the verdict. Todd?
That's the concern, guys. Good morning to all three of you. Attorneys on both sides are meeting today.
So we're going to have riots? Thanks a lot, Joe Biden. Now it's just like being under Trump. The riots in Kenosha were all under Trump.
To finalize jury instructions as they head into closing arguments next week, but not before the prosecution and judge have another tense exchange. The judge grilling the lead prosecutor over his line of questioning toward a defense witness. Watch.
Does Real America's Voice have any sort of political bias or agenda or anything like that?
Okay, so apparently he's asking a witness from... Hold on, I got to see more of this.
It goes to the bias of the witness, Your Honor.
Okay, so the witness is a Real America Voice commentator, perhaps a broadcaster. I don't even know. But that's standard for a lawyer to be asking questions about the place where you work, how long you've worked there, to give the jury a fuller picture. There's nothing wrong with doing that, unless by doing so you're implying that somehow the witness isn't credible, and there's no substantiated proof of that. But at this point, he's asking. He's not accusing the witness of doing anything, and that happens in courtrooms all the time. They go on background. I've been in depositions myself. I've been in court cases myself where they go, well, how long did you work there? When did you start working there? So, okay, well, let's see what the judge says about this.
The bias in what respect? This is not a political trial.
Not a political question.
Heard it there. The prosecutor.
Okay, and that's it? That's what Fox has to say about that? Well, I don't know what happened there. I'm not sure. Now I want to go back and watch yesterday's trial.
Trying to discredit that witness as biased, but Drew Hernandez, that witness was.
All witnesses are biased, but we need to establish where that bias lies and how biased that bias is. So if you were to put somebody up from Real America Voice, it was a Real America Voice. By the way, one of the most biased broadcasts, right up there with One America News. Real America's Voice skews completely to the right and then over the cliff. They will interview Donald Trump 24/7 and not challenge anything he says. They are rah-rah right in his corner.
Able to tell his story freely on Tucker Carlson, saying one of the men shot by Kyle Rittenhouse was being aggressive before he started chasing Rittenhouse. Listen.
Rosenbaum was attempting to push a...
Okay, so this is the defense. Okay, it's Drew Hernandez. Total right-wing, guest on Tucker Carlson and other right-wing shows. So very, very biased.
Burning dumpster.
This guy goes around and he's sort of the man on the scene. He will videotape, he will broadcast, he will do some of the stuff you see on an Instagram or a Twitter feed or whatever. That's Drew Hernandez. His job is to go and report on the scene.
Into police vehicles that were occupied by police officers, human beings. And once someone put that...
Oh, now we're supporting the police officers? We weren't on January 6th, so we changed. Somewhere between the riots and January 6th, we decided it was totally okay to club police officers.
Dumpster out. He immediately started to get confrontational, and then 2 minutes later, he made his way to CarSource and began to charge Kyle Rittenhouse from behind, and the rest is history.
Meantime, Rittenhouse...
And now he's dead.
His mother is slamming President Biden.
I actually don't know specifically which guy he's talking about in this situation, but it sounds like... again, if anybody watched this, but please correct me if I get something wrong here.
Biden for prejudging her.
Let's nerdy Andy know. How do we even say that? Is Go? Andy Go? I don't know. Andy Go is the guy who claimed he was hit with a milkshake that was filled with cement. And then a newspaper in Portland tried to replicate that using the milkshake that Andy said he was, and you can't do it. It doesn't work. But anyway.
Her son.
It was just a regular milkshake.
Listen.
President Biden don't know my son.
What? President Biden don't know my son? Oh, this is his mother. Okay, this explains just about everything we need to know. I don't know if I haven't dropped a single frame. What the hell is happening with the internet? At the Unnamed Studios. So here she is. This is his mother. And I'm not one to comment on a woman's looks. In this case, folks, I don't think I need to. I think that face speaks for itself and obviously clearly educated.
Source and began to charge Kyle Rittenhouse from behind, and the rest is history.
The rest is.
Meantime, Rittenhouse's mother is...
I gotta say, though, that guy pays a lot of attention to his hair. So attention to detail is right in his wheelhouse. And, something's beeping at me. Sorry about that.
Slamming President Biden for prejudging her son. Listen.
President Biden don't know my son whatsoever. And
President Biden don't know my son. Wow. So she took her son, her child, with an AR-15 across state lines to protect used cars, which she lied about, and to help assist with first aid or something. That's who this lady is.
And he's not a white supremacist. He's not a racist. And he did that for...
Okay, people keep saying white supremacist. Isn't it white supremacist? I could be wrong. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Whatever you say, okay with me. But isn't it white supremacist? White supremacist. I don't even. It just doesn't sound right to me. I don't think that's what it is. But again, you know what? Let's find out together so that we know. As a group, let's do this. White. It just doesn't sound white. Supremacist. Okay, white supremacist. I'm bringing it over. A white supremacist, a person who believes that white people constitute. Okay, it's technically correct. White supremacist. No, white supremacist. It corrected me. There's no such thing as a white supremacist. It's white supremacist. So Google corrected. I thought for a second, okay, I guess you can say it that way. No, Google was like, no, you don't mean that. White supremacist. She don't know. So it is white supremacist. No judges. The judges can't even find the Unknown Studios. So I'm just going to give myself some cowbell.
For the votes. And I was...
What? Hold on. We got to go back here.
My son.
You don't know your son.
Whatsoever. And he's not a white supremacist. He's not a racist.
No one is a white supremacist because it's not a thing.
And he did that for the votes. And...
What?
I was so...
This is off of YouTube, by the way. Let's do this. So what we're seeing on the screen here, this is something off of YouTube. This is Hannity covering it. I'm guessing yesterday, Thursday. Okay, so yesterday, and they're showing a YouTube video with Kyle Rittenhouse, age 17, worked as a lifeguard, trained in advanced life support, volunteered hundreds of hours in service to his community. Wow, sounds like a hero to me. Murdered 2 people.
So angry for a while at him. And what he did to my son, he defamed.
So he's got, on the one hip, he's wearing some sort of first aid kit. On the other hip, he's wearing an AR-15. But he's protecting that business. It's all boarded up. If there's somebody hurt, I'm running into harm's way. And if there's nobody hurt, I'm going to make sure somebody gets hurt.
Him.
And the jury in this case is expected to begin deliberations as soon as early next week. Back to you.
So, Todd, can I ask you a quick question?
I hope so.
Regarding the judge asking the witness, rather the prosecutor had asked the witness a question about his journalistic endeavors or the outfit that he worked for. Was he trying to show bias or was he trying to create a bias? Because the jury was right there.
Again, you've heard Sean.
Actually, it's both. So, yeah, you are trying to create a bias in the jury, which is fine. But you're trying to illustrate the bias of the witness so that the jury can develop their own bias. Which, it sounds wrong, but that's fine. That's okay, because the jury has to decide between one party versus another. Often we don't have the evidence, and it just comes down to the witness saying this or that, and that is also evidence. So the jury has to develop a bias as to what to admit and what not to admit, what to consider, what not to consider. That's fine. But anyway, so the answer to your question, Steve-O, is both.
Duffy mentioned this yesterday. You've heard people talk about this throughout the course of this trial here on this network. What the prosecutor is doing appears to be extremely out of line for a prosecutor. Anytime you've seen...
What? No. Have you never watched an episode of Law & Order? Actually, I don't think on Law & Order they don't really do the court cases that much. But yeah, this is how it's okay.
seen any courtroom experience on TV, out of TV, you never hear.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
About the political predilections of the witness, unless.
Of course you do.
There's a specific reason, and there are exceptions where that would come.
Yes, this would be a specific reason. Because he went there in order to protect property from Antifa and Black Lives Matter, which are both politically bent organizations. The entire thing is motivated by political views. So yes, that is completely appropriate in this situation. The whole reason he's there is political. Also stupidity. Also, we just saw his mother.
But one of those exceptions is not at play here.
Yeah, Libby has a good point. He's not an EMT. Kyle's not an EMT.
What the attorney, the prosecutor...
Also, he lied. He says he's in nursing school right now at, I think, the University of Arizona or something like that. And the University of Arizona has come out and said, like, no. He is not enrolled in our nursing school. He is taking some classes online, as far as we know, from home. But he is not a nursing student at the University of Arizona or Arizona State, whatever it is. I think, don't even quote me on that. I'm trying not to pay that much attention to this trial. I'm consciously avoiding this trial. Let's watch more.
Doing
Here's Hot Takes with Kevin Lee Father.
Is clearly...
He's wrong, damn it!
Showboating, and he's trying to, I think, my estimation is he's trying to play to the people at large so that when a verdict comes down that is not in his favor, the mob doesn't come after him. That's my guess as to what's happening here.
I think that guess is completely wrong. I think he's trying to get a verdict in this trial that is in favor of the prosecution. Again, the entire trial is about a political motivation that had resulted in murder. Antifa, BLM.
Could be right.
I think it's a very good guess. Absolutely.
Thank you, Todd.
It's not.
But the consequences of that.
When has the mob ever attacked the prosecution? When has a mob ever shown up? And then now they're saying that there's going to be examples in St. Louis of somebody doing that. But yeah, he's doing his job. At Random says, I think the laws may be different by state. By the way, this broadcast is sponsored by At Random. At Random provides the television here, the YouTube TV. So thanks to At Random for that. She says, I think the laws may be different by state. They are. And it's ridiculous. We have 50 different sets of laws, and I've railed against this before, but there you go. This is the United States. He specifically wasn't a licensed EMT, but I think they said he did have some life-saving training. Then again, I learned CPR in a babysitting class at 12. CPR isn't an EMT. Kyle presented himself as an EMT, says Libby. And Libby does have medical training.
And I know this just from being married to a prosecutor. Sean was a prosecutor for 10 years.
But you're also from Wisconsin.
Yeah, and I'm also from Wisconsin. We can talk a little bit about what was going on
Why isn't her husband there?
Politically in the
or ex-husband, I guess. I don't know.
Environment in Wisconsin at that time, which I think has a lot to do with what happened there. But also, a prosecutor has to earn the trust of the jury. There's two stories being told. Who do you trust? And I just think this prosecutor has done a lot to
Right, which is why he's asking the questions about the political bias. That's exactly right. Hold on. Campos got something. Woo!
Credit himself with the jurors. You know, obviously we see the judge was unhappy with so many of the things he's done, and I think that Todd Pyro is absolutely right. He's playing to the mob. He knows there's going to be consequences when.
No, he's not playing to the mob.
Because it looks like this is all going in Kyle's.
He's asking a question to establish the political bias in a trial that was predicated by political views.
On favor.
Yeah, so the jury gets it on Monday. The defense rests on Friday. And the most devastating thing that I have seen in a not made for TV that was not a TV movie was what I saw yesterday. You watch him describe what the victim was up to before he was shot. It was, I mean, it's devastating just to say, to back up the self-defense claim. The other thing is, it doesn't happen.
But okay, but whatever he was up to, did he deserve to be shot and killed? Whatever he did, and again, I didn't watch the trial yesterday. Did he bang on some police cars? Did he set fire to a building? Did he deserve to be shot and killed by a 17-year-old who went there claiming he was an EMT because he had the purple gloves?
If police weren't told, get back and let a city burn.
Thank you.
When you let a city burn...
Right, but if you light a Rite Aid on fire, does that mean that you no longer deserve to live? And once you're dead, that's it. You never live ever again. Is that what you deserve because you set something on fire? No, don't set things on fire, is what I'm saying. Unless you actually need, like, you're lighting a fire in your fireplace. That's okay. But in general, please do not burn down buildings. Todd, talking to you, Mr. Pyro.
People who are concerned about the small business owner, the mom and pop shop, who are saying these...
Oh, we're showing murders on live television now. Sorry. That is one of the victims being shot on your screen. This is Fox News showing that, and I'm reacting to that. I didn't know that was coming. That upsets some people. I'm sure most people have seen that by now. But we used to not do Faces of Death over live television. We used to have standards on that, and here we go. However, for the sake of the coverage, I can understand how Fox News is doing that. I just wasn't aware that they were just going to do it in the middle of a morning show and not warn the viewers at all. Wow. I got to get going, guys. Yeah, it's 1:45. I got to move. Guys, thank you very much for joining us. I apologize for the first broadcast we did. It should not have ever existed. I don't know what is going on with the T-Mobile and the internet, and it could not be T-Mobile's fault. I will battle that later today. I do remember Faces of Death. I worked at a Lackluster Video when Faces of Death was released, and Blockbuster would not carry Faces of Death. Faces of Death were just VHS videos of people getting killed. Situation after situation. What is now known as Twitter, where, a car crash or whatever, somebody falls off a building. It was just shot after shot after shot, and they were immensely popular. People would come in all of the time to Blockbuster. It was weird, too, because it was in one area where I worked, like a more socially developed, higher income area. Nobody ever asked. Then I worked in Pico Rivera, which is basically part of East LA. At a Lackluster Video there, and people would come in on a daily basis. And where's your Faces of Death? And Blockbuster didn't carry it. There you go, guys. That's the broadcast for today. Be good to yourself. We're doing a movie night later tonight. I don't know if I'm going to be able to broadcast later today. In fact, I'm not going to be able to. We have to ship a bunch of stuff to a storeroom, and I am trying to get boosted with the vaccination in the middle of that, so we'll see what happens. Guys, be good. Be good to each other. Be good to yourself.